What's going on, my people? It's your boy Shez, and today we are back for another video. I know it's been a while, but I'm back now. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you not 3, not 4, but 5 tips on how to improve your performance in Linux. So without further ado, let's go. Alright guys, so for number 1, you want to install a program called Preload. What this program does is basically preloads some of the application dependencies for your programs and software you got installed on your computer, basically increasing the loading speed of your programs. It does use a bit more RAM, of course, but I guess the trade-off is better performance. So to install it, you can do it for your GUI software center, but that's long. So I like to do it through the terminal. What you have to do is open up your terminal, then what you type in is sudo apt-get install preload. Type your password in. As you can see, I've already got it installed, so I don't need to install it. But yeah, it's as simple as that. You can edit the config file. I think it is located in /etc/preload.conf is the file, so you can do that, edit some of the parameters, whatever, Alright guys, so for tip number 2, we have, I know it sounds pretty simple, but it's to make sure your operating system is up to date. Make sure you got the right drivers, especially if you are using an NVIDIA graphics card, because quite frankly, the Novu drivers, the stock open source drivers, are absolutely horrible. Seriously, man, it's terrible. I don't know why it's even a thing. You know what I mean? It's so bad. For AMD though, the drivers are built in to the kernel and stuff, and they're pretty decent. As far as I'm aware, for a number of years now, the drivers for AMD have been open source. They don't really do any proprietary drivers anymore, as far as I'm aware. And yeah, the open source ones are great for that. But for NVIDIA, you need to install the proprietary drivers. So how do you do that, you're asking? Right, you go here and you type in drivers. Right, and as you can see over here, we've got additional drivers. You want to open that, and then it will start searching for drivers. However, I don't think anything is going to come up for me because I don't have any drivers that have to be installed for any of my hardware. So yeah, and to update your computer, there are 2 different ways to do so. Number 1 is using the GUI, software updater application, but like I said, that's long. The terminal, in my opinion, is faster. So to update it, there's 2 commands: sudo apt-get update, and what this does is basically finds or searches for any updates on available in the repositories. And then to actually update your computer is sudo apt-get upgrade. Right, as you can see, nothing available. However, if there was, it would show me that there is. I'd press Y for yes, and it would go ahead and update my computer. And yeah, just having an up-to-date computer for any operating system, quite frankly, Windows, Mac, and Linux, just will maximize or give your computer the best chance to running well. Alright, so number 3, I'm going to be showing you guys how to change the Swappiness value. Right, what this basically affects is how much RAM has to be used before it starts to use a paging file on your hard drive. Now, obviously, you don't want to turn this completely off because when you are running low on system resources, you can get to a point where you run out of RAM and your computer will just crash. So you want some of the memory to be passed over to your hard drive, but not much of it, because obviously your hard drive is a lot slower than your computer. So to check your current Swappiness value, type in this command over here. Yep. When you press enter, I obviously get the value of 60, meaning that 60% of my RAM has to be used before it starts using a swap file. However, I think personally that is quite high, so I want to lower that. And to lower your Swappiness value, you want to go to this file over here. You can use any text editor of your choice. I'm just going to be using Nano because, it's easy, quick, whatever. And you want to open it. Right, guys, so once you're on the file, you just want to go right to the bottom and paste this in. right? VM swappiness equals 1. You can do whatever value you like. I'm going to do 10. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. Then you want to do Control X. You want to do Y for save. Right, guys, so once you've done that, I mean, yeah, you pretty much change the swappiness value of your computer. It should, you know, be the same even when you reboot it and stuff, because you've obviously edited the config file. And yeah, so moving on to number 4, right? If you've got a really slow computer, I'd recommend you get some lighter alternative applications. For example, over here, you see I got Chrome and Firefox, right? All these modern web browsers. But quite frankly, right, on older hardware, they run extremely poor because they tend to be very RAM intensive. So instead, you can install a program, for example, Midori, that's Midori, and that will basically be a much lighter alternative browser. I've used it in the past on older computers, and it tends to run pretty well. And obviously, you got lighter alternative applications, you know, for pretty much all sorts of application types, you know, whether it's office applications or music players or mail clients or whatever it is. Just have to do your research, but trust me, Linux can be made pretty lightweight, right? Which leads me on to number 5, and that is using a completely different desktop environment, or hell, maybe even a completely different distribution. Let me explain. You know, obviously right now you can see I'm using standard Ubuntu, and the GNOME desktop tends to be quite intense. You know, you need at least 2 gigs of RAM. You know, you need a semi-decent graphics adapter. You know, however, you know, if you're using older hardware, you're not necessarily going to have that. So you can obviously switch to a desktop environment such as LXDE, XFCE. You got even lighter ones like I think the i3 window manager. But trust me, that can make a massive difference. And even changing the distribution. You know, back in 2014 when Arch did support 32-bit hardware, I was able to get a netbook running with LXDE, and quite frankly, it was only using 64 megs, right? 64 megs of RAM when it was, you know, when it was booted up. You know, the baseline amount of RAM that was used was peanuts, honestly. So trust me, Linux can be made really lightweight. Now there are other things you can do, like installing a performance-based kernel, right? I've heard of a few out there, but I've not really tried it myself. I may give it a go, and if it's really good, make a video on it. You know, let me know if you want that sort of thing. But yeah, man, that pretty much wraps up this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. You know, any suggestions, just hit me up in it. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I hope you have a good day, good night, and I'll see you next time.